In March 2024, Sister Wives fans all over the world felt shocked and deeply saddened by Garrison Brown's death. TLC took care to edit him out of the bulk of season 19, but eagle-eyed fans can still spot him here and there. Today this day, viewers speak fondly of Garrison and sorely miss him on the show. In recent seasons, Gabe and Garrison Brown discussed the growing rift with their father, Kody. The situation certainly escalated after the pandemic started, but Garrison seemed to know it would only get worse. Read on to see the jaw-dropping moment one Sister Wives viewer shared online. Garrison Brown knew the family would split apart. As the Brown family children grow older, they appear on Sister Wives less frequently. However, Garrison and Gabriel Brown played pivotal roles in recent seasons. The brothers desperately wanted to bridge the gaps the pandemic created. Sadly, Kody and Robyn's side of the family seemed to pull away. Viewers wanted justice for the young men. As one viewer pointed out, Garrison Brown seemed to know their family was on the verge of crumbling for good. Eerily accurate analysis from Garrison, COVID rules, one Sister Wives viewer posted on Reddit. They attached a haunting screenshot from a few seasons ago. Garrison and Gabriel are having a conversation about the family's future amid the pandemic and social distancing rules. "I'm hopeful Gabe stars before his brother cuts him off. The whole family is gonna fall apart," Garrison interjects. "We're done." Reddit users react to the ominous scene. Many Redditors came across the haunting scene in their own rewatches. In turn, they felt saddened knowing the horrifying fate that awaited Garrison. Others expressed anger over how clearly the boys were hurting and how little support they received from their father. Reddit users wrote, "Kody was so cruel. Kody was letting the wives know, if you don't listen to me, I'm not coming around. It's your behavior that is keeping me from my kids. That is how Kody thinks. I will hurt your children if you don't listen to me. It's cruel. Ugh, this breaks my heart." I rewatched some of the earlier episodes not too long ago and caught this comment and thought, wow, did that kid see what was coming? The Garrison topic hurts me so much. Wish somehow he could have been stopped or saved from feeling like that was his only way out. Do you remember this scene? Add your own thoughts and ideas to the conversation below. Be sure to follow TV shows Ace Online to keep up with the latest Sister Wives news and updates. New episodes air at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on TLC each Sunday night. The Brown family of Sister Wives has long been an enigma to fans, with their complex relationships, shifting dynamics, and evolving understandings of love, family, and polygamy. While Kody Brown and his 4 wives have often been the center of the drama, it's been the children of the family who have provided some of the most touching and sometimes heartbreaking moments. One of the most vocal and emotionally insightful members of the younger generation has been Garrison Brown, Kody and Janelle's son, who, over the years, has offered a unique perspective on the tumultuous family environment. Recently, Garrison's warnings about the future of the family have started to resonate more strongly with viewers, who now see that he may have predicted the sad trajectory of the Brown family before it even unfolded. Throughout the series, Garrison has often been portrayed as the more grounded and pragmatic of the Brown children. His observations about the family dynamic have never been shy, and his candidness has struck a chord with fans who've seen how his straightforward commentary has often been ahead of its time. Garrison's emotional maturity has allowed him to see cracks in the foundation of the family long before they began to widen, and in many ways, his concerns about the future have been signs of trouble. Accurate. From a young age, Garrison seemed to sense that the family's polygamous lifestyle wasn't as harmonious as it appeared. While Kody was focused on keeping peace among his 4 wives, Garrison was more attuned to the undercurrents of tension. He saw firsthand the emotional toll that the various relationships took on his mother, Janelle, and the other wives. Over time, Garrison's perspective on his father's approach to marriage and family became clearer. He began to see that Kody's relationships with the wives were less about love and more about control and preference, particularly when it came to Robyn, Kody's fourth wife. Garrison's early observations were often met with skepticism, especially by Kody, who seemed to dismiss his son's concerns as naive or overly negative. However, as the seasons progressed, it became clear that Garrison's ability to read the emotional landscape of the family was spot on. He was one of the first to notice that Kody's focus on Robyn was creating an imbalance in the family, one that was becoming more difficult to ignore. Garrison saw how Kody's favoritism was tearing at the fabric of the family, and he voiced his concerns openly. His words, however, fell on deaf ears, as Kody remained steadfast in his belief that his relationships with each wife were all equal, something that many fans and even family members themselves would later question. A son's frustration with the family's future. In the most recent seasons of Sister Wives, Garrison has become more vocal about his frustrations with the family dynamic. As he grew older, it became clear that Garrison was feeling the weight of his father's decisions more than ever. He had witnessed the emotional toll Kody's behavior took on his mother, Janelle, and the other wives, particularly as Kody's relationship with Robyn became more prominent. Garrison could see the unraveling of the family that was once built on a foundation of mutual respect and shared values. In one of the most poignant moments of the series, Garrison confided in his mother about his concerns for the family's future. He expressed his fear that the path Kody was leading them down, one of emotional neglect, imbalance, and disconnection, would ultimately cause the family to fall apart. His words were not just those of a frustrated son, but of a young man who saw the writing on the wall. Garrison understood that the family was headed toward a breaking point, and he couldn't help but feel helpless as he watched the dysfunction unfold. The truth of Garrison's prediction became painfully clear as the seasons continued. Kody's emotional neglect of his other wives, particularly Janelle and Christine, led to a gradual erosion of their relationships. Christine's eventual departure from the family only further confirmed what Garrison had feared. The family was no longer the united front it once was, and Kody's inability to balance his relationships had led to the collapse of what was once a thriving, albeit unconventional, family unit. The emotional strain of a broken family. One of the most heartbreaking aspects of Garrison's experience is the emotional strain he felt as he watched his family splinter. For a long time, he had hoped that Kody's relationships with his wives would evolve into a more balanced and healthy structure. But as time passed and Garrison observed his mother's pain, his father's emotional detachment, and the rising tensions between the wives, it became impossible for him to hold on to that hope. Garrison's growing awareness of the emotional strain on his mother, Janelle, was particularly evident. Janelle, who had once been Kody's closest confidant, began to feel the weight of neglect as Kody's focus shifted increasingly toward Robyn. Garrison could see that his mother was no longer a priority for Kody, and he watched as she struggled to maintain a sense of self-worth in a marriage that seemed to be falling apart. It was in these moments that Garrison's sadness and frustration became palpable. He saw his mother's pain, and he knew that the family's future was heading down a sad and irreversible path. Garrison's voice of reason, a cry for change. As the cracks in the family structure deepened, Garrison's voice became louder, a voice of reason amidst the chaos. His attempts to communicate with his father about the family's future were met with resistance, but Garrison refused to back down. He had seen the signs long before they materialized, and he continued to speak out, hoping that his insights would be enough to make Kody and the other wives see the gravity of the situation. Unfortunately, his warnings fell on deaf ears. Until, of course, the consequences became undeniable. Garrison's emotional journey has been a painful one to watch, as it's clear that he loved his family deeply and wanted to see them thrive. But as the family dynamics shifted, and Kody's preferences and priorities became more apparent, Garrison's idealized vision of the family he had grown up in slowly eroded. The sad reality is that Garrison, like many others, could see the inevitable collapse of the family unit before it actually happened. He understood that the emotional neglect, the uneven power dynamics, and the growing tensions between the wives would ultimately lead to the family's breakdown. A family torn apart by injustice. Today, looking back at the past seasons of Sister Wives, it's clear that Garrison's predictions about the future of the Brown family were painfully accurate. The once unified family is now a fractured shell of what it used to be, with Kody's relationships with his wives suffering irreparably. The emotional damage done to each member of the family is visible, and the disintegration of Kody's marriage with Janelle and Christine proves that Garrison's fears were justified. Though Garrison's predictions about the sad future of the Brown family came true, his voice, though often overlooked, was one of the most important in calling attention to the underlying issues that no one else seemed willing to confront. His ability to see the dysfunction and predict its devastating consequences proves that sometimes it's the children who can see things more clearly than the adults. And in Garrison's case, his understanding of the future was not just a reflection of his own personal pain, but a stark warning about the price of emotional neglect and imbalance in any family structure. As the future of the Brown family continues to unfold, it's clear that Garrison's sad foresight was more than just a passing concern. It was a prescient look into the emotional fallout of years of unresolved tension and unspoken truths.